I would like to give thanks to the ancestors, known and unknown, those who have paved the way for us to survive this moment of time and to have a reference point to use as a blueprint to deal with these hellish times we are living in. I would also like to give honor and reverence to the woman of the universe for your superior work, for bringing forth the spiritual information through the triple stage of darkness of your womb and giving birth to God. We would like to give reverence to the universe and praises to the indigenous. My name is Raheem Shabazz, and this is Necessary Blackness Podcast.
Necessary Blackness Podcast is independently owned, and we do not accept sponsorship dollars from corporations. We are supported by the people such as yourself who know that in war, the first casualty is the truth. We are at war with racism and white supremacy. We must continue to tell the truth. Support us by purchasing your Necessary Blackness t-shirt by sending an email to necessaryblacknesspodcast@gmail.com.
Check out MCJ, musicculturejournalism.com. Hip-hop is a global movement, reaching all aspects of music, culture, and journalism. MCJ is the premier destination for culture-driven video and editorial content around the country. Check out musicculturejournalism.com. Log on today.
Wingy Apparel is the latest fly and revolutionary streetwear to hit the market. Wingy is the outfitters of freedom fighters everywhere. Wingy is a Swahili word that means abundance. No one has ever gone broke by giving. So if you have it in abundance, sharing is better than receiving. Follow us on Instagram at Wingy Apparel. That's at WINGIAPPAREL.
Necessary Blackness Podcast, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. with award-winning journalist and filmmaker Raheem Shabazz. This podcast is only for those who are unapologetic, because the mind of the conscious man or woman recognizes no monopoly on truth. Truth is relative and always to be sought.
Peace and Black Power family, this is your host, Raheem Shabazz, and we are here for another episode of Necessary Blackness Podcast. This episode been in the making for some time now. I got the brother in the building, and yo, let me tell you something, man. One time he canceled on me. One time I had to cancel on him. And today he comes out to an event, a screening and lecture I'm doing. And I'm like, yo, you know what? We doing the podcast tonight.
Word.
So we drive all the way to the studio. And he like, yo, Rod, I just got the call. I got to go handle something. He said, but I got a few minutes. But it ain't enough time to do the podcast. But we sitting here, we building, and we going to continue to build. And he going to come back, and he going to do a full podcast. Now, many of y'all are like, who is he talking about? I'm talking about the one and only Minister Server. Peace, Black man. What's going on?
Yo, peace, Black man. Good to be here, man. Yo, it's been a long time, bro.
Yeah, and we bump into each other all the time.
All the time.
You know what I mean? And the reason why is because we in the community.
No doubt.
And we always building.
That's what it takes, bro.
We at celebrations, we at rallies, we at protests, because that's what freedom fighters do.
You can't serve the people if you're not amongst the people, period.
Absolutely.
Period.
So it wasn't no surprise when I seen you today, because we had spoke earlier, and I'm like, brother, we can't do the podcast today. I got to do this event. You was like, yeah, I know about that
exactly.
event. You didn't even tell me you was going.
Exactly.
And you just popped
up on you. That's right.
So, listen, the event was about the school-to-prison pipeline.
No doubt. No doubt.
You a teacher. You a minister. You an educator. What are your thoughts on the school-to-prison pipeline?
Man, listen, that could be like 3 podcasts. But the bottom line is that we, and when I say we as Black people, we have to get more serious about the education of our people. And as I said, when we study our ancestors, we just talked about Dr. Carter G. Woodson.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Kalonji Woodson, in his historic book, The Miseducation of the Negro, which was written in 1933, and he talked about people that had the benefit of getting an advanced degree past, some post-secondary education.
Mm-hmm.
But what he talked about is that if your post-secondary education is not helping to enrich the black community, then you've been miseducated, period. I don't care how much money you have, how much status you have, where you can go. If you are black, and your education is not enriching the black community, you've been miseducated. And mind you, that was written in 1933. Now we have more advanced degrees than we've ever had.
The black woman is the most educated person on the planet.
Exactly. But when you look at the conditions of our community, and like I said tonight, when we talked about, we're in Atlanta. So when you talk about the school to prison pipeline, Atlanta is one of the models that is based off of. You know what I'm saying? About 10 years ago, when we had the cheating scandal, that kind of, cracked the lid on what was going on. So it's not so much just a racial thing. We're dealing with class issues. We're dealing with ideological issues. When you talk about educational genocide, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different angles that we can take with that, bro. So I'm looking forward to having some conversations about that, bro.
Absolutely. Now, my audience are community activists, stakeholders in the community. We have educators, we have freedom fighters, and we just have people that want to give the white man hell.
Yeah.
Right? I know a lot of them know you, but there may be some that don't. Tell us who Minister Server is.
I am a server, you know what I'm saying? I do a lot of work in the hip-hop community particularly. I'm primarily started off with Nation Time Syndicate, with those that don't know, it's the first hip-hop collective in Atlanta, 1991.
That's history.
That's right, 1991. Big up to all the Nation Time Massive. There's some work with the Temple of Hip Hop, Universal Zulu Nation. I'm now the Director of Humanities for Generation Hip Hop Global, which is a youth empowerment leadership that's headed by Dalvin Mandela, the grandson of Nelson Mandela. So we're in 60 countries right now, and our whole thing is hip-hop beyond entertainment. Rap is something you do, hip-hop is something you live. And we believe that hip-hop is an extension of our ancient African culture. So while we're not doing anything new, we dope at the remix. Like I said, hip-hop doesn't create anything new. We just recreate everything and make it better.
Absolutely.
So that's the work that, I'm blessed to, first and foremost, I'm a father. I'm on my hip-hop grandpop grind right about now. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I do, true indeed, everything that I do is for the forward motion of my children, not just my biological children, but I truly believe in the concept of it takes a whole village to raise a child. So being an educator in the school system and being an educator in the world, a lecturer, I take that very seriously. I'm here to be of service.
Now, you spoke about hip-hop and leadership and community building, right? What is your take on today's generation of hip-hop? Because me, as an educator myself and putting out elementary genocide, one of the grappling problems that I have is how do we convince, right, this generation to go to school, to get a good job, when they're surrounded by rich criminals and poor graduates, right?
Yeah.
So how do you convince today's generation that education is of paramount concern and we have to self-educate ourselves and bring that education back to the community?
That's an excellent point that you said. We have to educate ourselves. So it's not necessarily about going to school and getting a good education and getting a good job. But what it's really about is, first of all, having knowledge of yourself, you know what I'm saying, to identify what are your unique talents and gifts. What are you passionate about? What do you believe that your creator sent you here to do? And how do you acquire the skills to do that? So how do you become empowered to do those type of things? When you begin to do those type of things, the school takes on a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's like a person who knows they want to be a business owner, but they still have a 9-to-5 job. So you go to your 9-to-5, you do what you need to do, but you still have the mindset of building your business. So you get the necessary skills that you need from that 9-to-5, meaning a paycheck every week, so you can have a job to finance your work. So even for those that may not want to take the traditional route in school, you have to educate yourself. Knowledge yourself is just a part of living. You know what I'm saying? So, but on that same end, I think that we have to also make sure that our young people understand the balance of fact versus fiction. And that's really challenging right now in this fake world of social media and things of that nature, because you got people that are kind of posing and faking to make it. It's taking on a whole different meaning nowadays. But, as I said, I'm a father of 6, a grandfather of 6. So, being an example and teaching them about themselves and giving them different options, that's what we're supposed to do. Give them opportunities to become themselves. Like, we don't have to try to create them in our image and likeness, but we have to give them the opportunity to be their own unique selves. And when we do that, then it's kind of like, you prepare them to deal with any of the systems that they have to deal with, whether it's the school system, whether it's the work system, whatever it is.
The system of racism and white supremacy. The system
listen, as Neely Fuller said, if you don't understand racism and white supremacy, everything else will confuse you.
Absolutely.
You have to understand that first and foremost, and we have to teach our children that. And that's a great point, because a number of times, we want to act like we are the world, and we are the world to a certain degree. And yet what you have to understand is about history. Brother Malcolm X said, history is best able to reward you for your research. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? So we can connect the dots to see exactly what it is, and exactly when we look at what it is and we see the enemy, that we can have strategies, because it's the same enemy that our ancestors have already defeated on earth. Like I said, we are the children of God. We already defeated the devil on earth. We just kind of fell asleep for the last 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? They kind of forgot who we were. We kind of, got into this mindset where we thought that our enemy was no longer our enemy.
Yep, and his expiration date is now. We got to take this devil off this planet. But listen,
2020,
brother,
let's be clear.
You told me I had 15 minutes. I want to be respectful of your time.
No doubt.
In closing, right, I know that hip-hop changed the political landscape.
Changed everything, bro.
You are the hip-hop minister.
No doubt.
Tell me about this political climate. What should our brothers in hip-hop do as we go into this 2020 election? Me personally, I'm going to sit this one out. I don't like none of the candidates.
Only on the national level. All politics are local.
Oh yeah, locally. I'm always with the local.
Now, see, what we have to understand, and I think this is where we have to kind of get back to the ancestors and the basics. It's not so much as concern of who is president as it is who is mayor, who is city council, who's on your board of education, who's the
superintendent.
Right, who's the superintendent. Those are the things that not only are they important, but you have a better chance of affecting the outcome of those situations than you do that national joke. We know that that's a joke. Trump lost by 3 million votes, dude. 3 million votes.
No, but did you just see in what is it, Idaho? Where they do the Iowa, right? They had to do a coin toss.
Yeah.
What type of shit is that?
Hey, listen,
is this a game, a coin toss?
Listen, it's
to
all
pick
game.
A second
national
candidate?
Politics are all game.
I was like, wow.
And what they do is serve as a distraction. You know what I'm saying? To keep us away. Like, if you ask people about the people that are running for president, they probably can name a bunch of people. Ask them who's running for state rep. Ask them who's running for city council. Ask them those real things, because, again, we get distracted. So when it comes to hip-hop, back in 2004, we had the first National Hip-Hop Political Convention at Rutgers University in Newark, New Jersey.
I remember that.
In 2006, we had the second one in Chicago. 2008, we had the last one that we had was in Vegas. Now, the reason why 2008 was the last one, if you remember 2008, that's when then Senator Barack Obama was running for office, but it was also the year where Cynthia McKinney and Rosa Clemente were the candidates for president and vice president on the Green Party.
I remember that.
So the Green Party platform fit the National Hip-Hop Political Platform. In fact, Rosa is one of the founders of the National Hip-Hop Political Convention. But because of the historical significance of Barack Obama running, there was a split in who we were supporting, and we kind of imploded at that convention, and we haven't regrouped yet. I think 2020 is a great time to start, and the way that we start is with the local organizing committees. It's not about the national politics, it's the local organizing committees, because whether Trump gets in or Biden gets in or whoever gets in, they're not concerned about black people. They're not concerned about hip-hop. They're just not. But on a local level, we can begin to affect those changes, so we can have the legislators that go to D.C. and affect the change that we want. And again, This is nothing new. If you study Brother Malcolm X, The Ballot versus the Bullet, he gives strategies exactly what we should do. Mind you, this was prior to the Voting Rights Act. Mm-hmm. So he gave a vision of that. If black people ever had the right to vote, this is what we should do. This, that, and the other. All we have to do is study the ancestors, bro. Update the things that they said and apply them right now.
And you're 100% correct when you say all politics are local. Senator Vincent Ford. Is he still senator?
No.
I remember he ran for mayor.
Right.
And he gave up his seat, right?
Exactly.
But when he was senator, I could have got on the phone and called him. Exactly. I could have got in contact with him. There's
you could touch your local politician.
Yeah, you could touch your local politician
literally if need
in
be.
Atlanta. So if any problem with the school system, little things, the banks not giving you loans.
Yeah.
You can go to your city, state rep and make them do what they're supposed to do.
Right. And
then they see you in the community.
Sure.
And if you have a voice or you're a recognizable person or you can get to a recognizable person, you can get the ear of your politicians here locally in Atlanta. So in closing, I want you to give everybody your social media and tell them where they can find you at. I think Kalonji Changa is about to come through in a few minutes. We just left screening and a lecture and
at the beloved community church.
So shout out to
big up to Dr. Keith Slaughter
and everybody that came out. And Kalonji definitely was a riot starter, brother.
Come on now. Kalonji's going to be Kalonji, bring that fire, and we appreciate that fire because it always sparks a good conversation, if nothing else, because we need that, man. There's a balance of what we need, but it was too funny, though.
Yeah. So people going to want to conversate with you. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on all social media, Minister Server, that's MINISTERSERVER at Gmail for the email. Instagram, Minister Server, Facebook, Minister Server, Twitter, the number one, Minister Server, at number one, Minister Server. Yeah, man, holler at me, yo. I'm here to be of service, particularly if you are over the age of 40, then you may need to get reintroduced to hip-hop culture beyond entertainment. You know what I'm saying? We were the ones that created this culture, created rap music and the whole nine, and for whatever reason, we've allowed the entertainment industry to not only take over, but the same thing that empowered us and made us want to have knowledge itself, now they're using to imprison and kill our children. We're just not going out like that. So we got to have some strategies to kind of reprogram our youth as well. We can't take away them being young because that's their music. We can add on to it, and as the proverb says, when you put a clean glass of water next to the dirty glass of water condemns itself. We got to give our children some real hip-hop culture, and then they'll turn away from the nonsense without us trying to dog out who they like. We ain't got to do that. That don't work anyway. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, they ain't going to listen to that. Right.
So we got to, give them some real genuine love, and they'll make the right choices because they are our children. So we got to make sure that we do that. So hit me up, Minister Server. I'm equally accessible to all things. I'm here to serve. Holler at your brother.
And that's it for us right here on Necessary Blackness Podcast. I am your host, Raheem Shabazz, and we're going to see if Kalonji come through. And if he don't come through, we're going to continue this conversation. And we definitely going to have Minister Server back so we could do a full podcast. Peace and power, Black family. Stay tuned. We're going to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Check out MCJ, musicculturejournalism.com. Hip-hop is a global movement, reaching all aspects of music, culture, and journalism. MCJ is the premier destination for culture-driven video and editorial content around the country. Check out musicculturejournalism.com. Log on today.
Wingy Apparel is the latest fly and revolutionary streetwear to hit the market. Wingy is the outfitters of freedom fighters everywhere. Wingy is a Swahili word that means abundance. No one has ever gone broke by giving. So if you have it in abundance, sharing is better than receiving. Follow us on Instagram at Wingy Apparel. That's at WINGIAPPAREL.
Persons interested in broadcasting a commercial can reach us via email at necessaryblacknesspodcast@gmail.com.
Necessary Blackness is distributed on all major podcast platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, iHeart, SoundCloud, Podomatic, and Google Play. We'll also promote your business and product across our various social media networks, reaching over 100,000 people daily.
The creators of Elementary Genocide Part 1, The School to Prison Pipeline, and Part 2, The Board of Education versus the Board of Incarceration, present the third installment, Academic Holocaust. Each film produced, directed, and personally funded by writer Raheem Shabazz. Hollywood Chronicles says the documentary Elementary Genocide turns a critical eye towards the dehumanizing educational environment that criminalizes Black and brown youth by funneling them from schools to prisons. If you've learned anything, shared any content, or have received any value from the Elementary Genocide brand, you're going to love Elementary Genocide 3, featuring the likes of Kaba Kemi, David Banner, Shahrazad Ali, Michael Imhotep, and Professor James Small. To help spread this important message to the masses, visit elementarygenocide.com. That's elementarygenocide.com. Please share our cause with your family and friends.
Necessary Blackness Podcast, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. with award-winning journalist and filmmaker Raheem Shabazz. This podcast is only for those who are unapologetic, because the mind of the conscious man or woman recognizes no monopoly on truth. Truth is relative and always to be sought.
Okay, we are back from our quick commercial break. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got Kalonji Changa in the building.
Look what the cat drug in.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, man, ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Shout out to Snoop.
That's right, man. Listen, last night we had the screening. We had a brief Q&A.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a Q&A, but I was in the audience answering questions with the audience members. So
was I.
Yeah, special guest audience member. Yes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people was receptive to what you were saying because, as we know, the riot starter doesn't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I don't think they was receptive. They just acceptive. They weren't receptive. They was accepting what was being said because of the fact that, as you know, my good brother, I don't mince my words. You know what I mean? I have a special way of saying things.
Nah, but I was looking at body language.
You was looking at body language?
And I was seeing people shaking their head and agreeing and saying, that's right.
You must have see the dude in the back looking all hard like he's ready to do something. I was like, boy, put your hand. Now, message y'all. Anyway, now it was a good time. I'm just talking trash, y'all. We enjoyed ourselves. Always good to rock with good Black folks. Shout out to Reverend F. Keith Slaughter, you know what I mean, for opening his doors. You know, it was a cool thing. Doctor. I'm sorry, I said Reverend. Reverend Doctor. Yes.
Dr. Reverend.
Dr. Reverend?
Dr. Reverend.
You ever heard Dr. King saying, I'm Dr. Reverend? This cat right here.
You got to put the doctor before the Reverend.
Reverend's first.
Thank you, brother.
Reverend's first?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Who shows this anyway?
It's my show.
Pull up Dr. Reverend King. See what
Yeah, I bet you I Google it come up.
That's because it be something that you posted. Something he posted. Reverend, Dr. Reverend.
All right. I don't want to pull up Reverend Dr. Reverend. But what I do want to pull up is this controversial thing that's happening with Gayle King.
Yeah.
I just... It's not nothing new. It's not nothing surprising. We all know that there is a group of people that will use those who are part of Black society to disparage us.
Okay.
And to talk ill about us. And they're doing the work of their white handlers. And this is where racism and white supremacy can say, well, look, I ain't say it. Your people said.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about white supremacy. It's just like gentrification. Folks think that white supremacy has to be white or gentrification has to be white. You know what I mean? It's upholding the system itself. It's not just the complexion. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you have Negroes as Oreos. You know what I mean? So, they cream filled in the middle. They black on the outside. You know what I mean? It's like burnt toast. You know what I mean? The bread went in white and it just happened to come out black, but it's still the same program.
All skin folks ain't kin folks.
All that.
So before we get into that, I'm going to play y'all the clip. But before I play you the clip, I just want to give y'all a brief quote from Malcolm X where he said, "If you're not careful, the newspaper will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppression."
No doubt.
And that can be someone who y'all look up to as your beloved sister, Oprah, Gayle King, who are nothing but handkerchief head Negroes and are doing the work of their white handlers.
Oh, man, I thought they was black queens.
Nah, not Harley.
Snoop was right.
Snoop was right. So we're going to go right real quickly into that clip, and then we're going to come back. And then we're going to hear from Kalonji Changa.
Yeah.
We're going to get his thoughts on that.
Let's talk about that.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of a sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. He was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
So, Kalonji, what are your thoughts after hearing Gayle King in this interview?
The interview with Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts was, she was doing she was doing a job. You know what I mean? And you don't get to a position like that without maintaining the status quo. You know what I mean? Keeping the system thrilled and happy. She's doing the same thing that Jay-Z was doing or that Oprah's doing. You know what I mean? They start off one way, but they realize when you get to a certain point, in order for you to keep flexing, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta dance for them. You know what I mean? You have to do that dance. If you don't do that dance, then it's a problem. She knew what she was doing. The problem was she didn't realize the backlash. You understand? Or should I say the blacklash? You know what I mean? Because she got that ass ate up. So, shout out to Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? Because I saw a few people talking about, he shouldn't call the sister a bitch. I'm like, what you want him to call her, a black queen? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was out of order. So he spoke. I was talking to my man, Minister Server, right before he jumped off the air. And one of the things we was talking about was the fact that, Snoop spoke the language of the people. He said things that you and I, would be shunned for saying. You understand what I'm saying? But true indeed, man, she rolled like that. You know what I mean? You lay down with fleas, then you get bit. Lay down with dogs, you get fleas. That's the business.
And did you hear her half-felt apology where she tried to blame the network? And my thing is this, right, family? We know in mass media, if it bleeds, it leads. And they always take controversial statements and little sound bites to pique the interest of the people to tune in. So her saying that she didn't know they was just going to take that little one small part, and that's not the gist of the interview. The same thing was done when she interviewed R. Kelly. So why should she even suspect anything different? So when you heard her apology, brother, what was your thoughts on that?
I thought it was bullshit. I think that the reality is, I don't know if she had a chance to talk to her publicist. You know what I'm saying? Her PR person to say, and the PR person was like, look, you guys say it was this, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was garbage. It was the same thing, like I said, with Jay-Z on the whole thing about folks yelling about, talking about he was sitting during the Super Bowl. He was sitting in a paid seat. You understand what I'm saying? And then when they came with it, when it all came out, he was like, yo, we was just checking out the performance. I wouldn't even, it wasn't political, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's all garbage. And it's like, see, the thing is, we don't hold these folks accountable. And that's what he's talking about, a drop squad. So I'm glad Snoop said what he said, because it's necessary for these folks to know. They have to be put on notice that when you go out there and you start dancing them white folks, you can't come back home. Because if you come back home, you might have an eviction notice on your door. You know what I mean? Or you might mess around and, your breath might smell like sneaker sole from somebody putting their foot so far up your ass. So, that's just the reality of things, man. So, definitely, it was garbage, and she had to fix it because of the fact that, see, with the media, these folks are always looking for ratings. You know what I mean? You see the picture floating around with her and Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? When you talk about, if you're going to talk Me Too and all that stuff, why folks ain't crying about Trump? Why she ain't doing a documentary about Donald Trump? Donald Trump talking about grabbing folks by the pussy, his wife butt naked. Everybody could go see his wife's ass right now. You can Google his wife and see her naked. That could not have worked if it was
Michelle Obama.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody black. You know what I mean? So the reality is, Gayle King, fuck out of here with that, man.
You know what? You said something interesting when you was talking about Jay-Z.
Always say something interesting. I'm Kalonji Changa.
And his statement in regards to this wasn't a protest. I wasn't sitting down for that. I was sitting down enjoying the national anthem or in anticipation of the game. Right. But what a lot of people didn't take away from that statement is he was saying that he would not subject Blue Ivy to that because his daughter was with him.
Right.
What you mean you wouldn't subject her to that? To you sitting down protesting?
Right.
That's the question to ask.
Because of the fact he's teaching her at this particular moment in time, Blue Ivy is a brand. And he's smart enough to understand that this brand, he's looking to build an empire. He's a billionaire. He's no dummy. He started from the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Now we here.
Yeah, started from the bottom, now we here. So him and Beyonce and him getting married. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. In the real world, you have Beyonce. If Jay-Z was hustling Jay-Z from the block, she wouldn't even think about knowing him, even if she knew him. You know what I'm saying? It's a business arrangement. They understand that. Now, I'm not saying there's no love there, but I know that they understand, like he told us a long time ago. He ain't a businessman. He's a businessman. And he called it. And let the record reflect, because I got a lot of cats running around telling me, man, y'all just be hating on the brother because I'm a fan of his music. You know what I'm saying? Because I love hip hop, right? So I'm a fan of his music. But the bullshit that come with it and the way I look at him because of the fact that, well, how can you say whatever? Look, dude, you watch horror movies. You watch movies with gun violence. That don't mean you like the actor as a person. That means you like how they act. You understand what I'm saying? And he's an entertainer. And we have to understand that. And he's trying to stay clear. The reality is this. In one of his songs a few years ago about the whole Super Bowl thing, he's like, you need me, I don't need you. And they took that to heart. The one thing about that you can give this guy, Jay-Z, is that he knows how to call shots. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to manifest and bring things into existence. Now, I don't know what kind of dark powers he played with in order to get it to do what he needed to do, or the fact that he just calling it like The Secret. He just has it in his mind and he's so focused on it. Whatever the case is, we recognize that he has the ability to call things into existence. So the chairperson of the NFL and all these folks, they're clear that he is the most powerful person in hip hop. You understand what I'm saying? one of the most powerful persons in hip hop. The fact that he can talk about nutting on Nas's baby mama's baby car seat, and then come back and Nas signs to this dude. I remember Fat Joe, I was listening to Hot 97. Fat Joe said he lost respect for Nas because there's no way that he can sign to somebody who disrespected him like that. Now, there's a thing, when you talk about hip hop, there's certain things you can go, certain places you can go, but certain borders and boundaries you can't cross. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, you know what's crazy? Not only did he rap about it, but it was actually true.
But that's what I'm saying.
He had a relationship with... Oh,
right.
Man.
And
she admitted to it, that she had sex with him in his car.
Right. So, I mean, again, I'm not tripping on dude as a street cat. I ain't tripping on him as an artist, but I understand clearly that he has always been about the establishment. From the time he crossed over from the crack era and he wanted to legitimize himself, he recognized that he had to play that game. And that's why folks, I remember that time he was on, I forget what it was, MTV or VH1, and he had the RBG wristband. Folks thought he was down for the joint. And then he did the joint with Dead Prez, the Hell Yeah remix. For the record, let the record reflect. Shout out to Dead Prez. I like Dead Prez. They fam. But let the record reflect. That was one of the wackest verses that Jay-Z's ever done. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that he didn't want to go too far. He has knowledge himself. He got information. He know what's going on. But he didn't. The hardest thing he said in that joint is, you don't like this, do you? Yeah, they don't. But they did like it because of the fact that you didn't say nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So he plays that game.
What about the one with Jay Electronica where he says he's running Yaku back to the cage?
Yeah, I mean, keep it funky, man. I mean, let's we talked about the whole powerlessness of Black Power last night. You understand what I'm saying? You know, crackers don't care if you call them a cracker. They don't care if you call them Yakub. They don't care about none of that you talking about because they know at the end of the day, you checking in with them. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about cracker this and Yakub that, but if they helping me get some of that bread and I'm helping them get some of that bread, it's a business relationship. It's a pimp hoe system. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to realize, you have to recognize that in this society, either you're a pimp or you're a hoe. The reality of it is, and some of y'all ain't going to like this, Jay-Z's a hoe. The state is the real pimp. He's an aspiring capitalist, but he's still a hoe because he can't say what he want to say. Because he know they'll snatch back what they took, what they gave him. And they've done that time and time again. They smacked the shit out of Bill Cosby. He thought shit was sweet. He running around talking that yik-yak shit, talking about they need to pull their pants up and this and that. Meanwhile, he pulling women's pants down. Fuck out of here, man.
And they trying to do it to our brother Russell Simmons.
Well, listen, man. You know, again, I like Russell. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of what he did with hip-hop, so on and so forth. I don't know what happened with the cases and all that. I just heard the other day one of the women that spoke out was one of the Mercedes ladies.
Yeah, I read that article as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is this right here. You know, you have the Oprahs and the Gayle Kings who's going after the Michael Jacksons and fuck a R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And to a great extent, you know what I mean? I don't know what Michael did, but I did see the documentary and him sleeping with little white boys in his bed and all that. You set yourself up for that, even if you didn't do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You trying to love on these little cracker babies. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen no little black kids except for Emmanuel Lewis last. You know what I'm saying? but at the same time, it's like you trying to kiss these white folks' ass. And so they got what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm gonna quote T.I. You deserve it if you allow it. You know what I'm saying? Their parents allowed them to do that. You know, the R. Kelly situation. Look, man, that situation, yeah, it needs to be spoken on about. To be honest with you, I'm a fan of Dave Chappelle, but I did not like the whole pissing on thing because of the fact that we're forgetting that you're talking about a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Nothing's funny about that. Nothing's cool about watching the fucking DVD of a 14-year-old getting pissed on. You know what I'm saying? The bootlegger should have got fucked up, and he should have got his goddamn head knocked off. I saw R. Kelly get out of jail, and the next day, he in a Chicago club singing. That shows you, yeah, that shows you the powerlessness
And he
of black
told
folks.
people his reign ain't over. If y'all wanted to get him, y'all should have got him 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's because he wasn't in the right neighborhood.
Yeah, but where he at now?
Now he locked up and somebody probably playing with his ass.
So Kalonji, man, let's move it right along, man, because I know.
Excuse the cursing. I know this
Nah,
is a
listen,
Christian
man.
household.
This ain't no Christian household, man. You better cut that out. This is necessary Blackness. You know what I mean? We unapologetic over here, and if we gotta use colorful language,
it's super colorful.
We gonna use it.
Yeah.
And as the Nation of Islam call it, baby language, we gonna use that too.
Well, I don't know if it's baby language. Mine is quite offensive and grown, but you know what I'm saying?
They call it baby
language. It is what
language.
it is, no doubt.
But I know you got somewhere to go, man, and we're not gonna hold you up with your time, man.
To the listeners,
you gotta listen.
When you hear on the radio, man, they say, "We know you got to go."
You know you gotta go, man. That's the first thing you told me, man. Listen, I ain't got that much time.
I've been uninvited.
You ain't been uninvited, man. You know you good over here, man.
Okay,
it's an open door policy, man. You gotta come through more often. Actually, you was the first one on the podcast. Me, you, and Erica.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, yes. You remember that?
I was the first one on it?
Yeah, you was the first one. I think he was the first one. Might have not been.
I probably was the dopest one. You know what I'm saying? Before service.
I don't know.
Right, sir? Man, saying no.
Hey, yo, but listen, man.
But I love
what you got going on, man?
To listeners, real quick. I'm talking a lot of shit, man. You know what I mean? But I definitely appreciate being on Necessary Blackness podcast, and I appreciate you all listening. I'm gonna say this right here: we have a lot going on. So my man just asked me what I have going on. We have a number of different lectures happening. I'm doing little lecture tours. We have an organization. Go to thepeoplesarmy.org, and you can see some of the work we actually do in the community. Yes, we have a film coming out. Organizing is the New Cool. Check that out. organizingistheNewCool.com.
Expect to see me in that film, right?
Yes,
Am I in there?
Expect to see Raheem Shabazz name in that film. Yes. So he'll be
my name in there. Am I personally in there, my brother?
Of course you in there, brother.
Okay.
Also,
all praises due to Allah.
Also, check out our podcast, which is renegadeculture.org. Renegadeculture.org. And renegadeculture.com, excuse me. But I just want to say that we have a lot going on. I don't agree with all the people who weighed in on the Gayle King case. I definitely agree with the black folks, you know what I'm saying? Folks like Michael Rappaport, I don't really give a fuck about what he talking about, you know what I'm saying? To me, you know, he's a sensationalist. He's always jumping his monkey ass in the middle of shit. You know what I mean? I respect the fact that he made an effort, but fuck him too. You know what I mean? That's how I particularly.
I'm just gonna say fuck everybody.
You know, and that's just what it is. But I am glad that Snoop said it the exact way he said it.
And I'm glad Lil Boosie said it.
I haven't heard Lil Boosie. And if he said something intelligent, then that'd be great.
He said it, a couple of other people.
And definitely surprising.
So yo, man, you gotta come back through, man. Kalonji got a book out. It's called How to Build a People's Army.
No doubt.
Hell of a book, man. Make sure y'all get that. Y'all support that.
Yes,
He's
sir.
also working on another book.
Yes,
right?
I'm working on Street Codes from Gangster to Gorilla, which should be out in April. And I'm also working on a third piece with my brother Balogun Ojatade. It's called The African Art of War. And I'm also doing two pieces for, I'm doing a piece for Minister Serber's book, which is called, Minister Serber's book is called, I'm trying to ask him, but he's...
It's called I Am Hip Hop.
Yes.
Empowering quotes from the Hip Hop Nation and Minister Serber's Services.
Yeah, so that's a long ass title. So look out for Minister Server's book. I Am Hip Hop.
You need to come over here, brother, and say that in the microphone. I don't think that's gonna pick up.
Yeah.
Yo, the book is called I Am Hip Hop. Empowering quotes from the Hip Hop Nation and Minister Service 7 Suggestions. So I got quotes from people like Kalonji. I need to get one from Shabazz. But I got quotes from people literally all over the world talking about how hip hop has empowered them, either in a personal and or professional way. So look forward to that book coming out.
Thank you. That was Service commercial, just cutting into my shit. But anyway, also, I know. Also, I'm writing a piece for Raheem Shabazz and his book.
Yeah, my book is called Radical Hope in the 21st Century. Do we cling to our hope or succumb to our fears? And you know we don't fear shit over here.
Both of these cats got two of the longest goddamn titles I ever heard.
No, that's the subtitle.
That's the trend thing.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's
All
how
right.
we doing it, man.
All
We
right.
stepping the whole. Yeah, listen, man. We
I
raising
love
the
y'all
bar.
fellas. I'm shouting it out on here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But all these books are gonna be powerful. No doubt, man. Follow me on the gram at who he talking to. I'm on Twitter. I don't be using it, but everybody telling me I need to. Everybody said I need to. It's Kalonji Changa, Kalonji, Changa, Changa. Yo, y'all stay black. Necessary Blackness podcast is the shit. You know what I'm saying? I rock with them. You know what I mean? I ain't never get no t-shirt. I ain't never get no none of these new fresh hats or none of that shit.
You ain't get a wingy hoodie?
I ain't get no wingy hoodie.
Yo, I'm gonna send you before you leave, I'm gonna send you the link to the website so you can go on there and order it, brother.
This guy gonna send me a link to the website.
Yeah, brother, so you go on there and order it.
I don't have a computer. But anyway.
Yo, man, thanks for joining us, man. This is Raheem Shabazz of Necessary Blackness Podcast, and I'll see you next week, same place, same time. Peace and Black Power, family. We out of here.
You know my whole clique, bat it.
But before we leave, let me leave you with the words of Snoop and some other folks that had some very colorful words for Gayle King and Oprah. Y'all stay tuned.
Gayle King. Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call him one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Gayle, and fuck Oprah. Y'all are some self-hating pieces of shit fuck asses. If I have never seen a coon more fucking coonier than goddamn Kale and Okra. I'm over y'all. I don't give a fuck how rich you are, how much you fucking accomplished. You're tearing down the legacies of so many phenomenal, beautiful black men, and I don't fucking have time for it. I'm sick. I'm disgusted. You don't care about black people. Okra, I knew you wasn't shit when the kids was trying to take a picture with you and she was like, oh, I see your little crack phone. Oprah.
Gayle King, why the fuck would you ask some shit like that? I don't give a fuck who friend it is. I don't give a fuck she can Obama or Oprah. Why the fuck would you do something like that? Why would you do that to your people? You know what people going through, right? Why would you ask a fucking question like that, trying to tarnish somebody's image? You do that to your own black people. You sad. I'm finna fire your ass up. You sad, bro. People be talking, black people need to stop fucking trying to hurt black people for success. It's all the reason you ask that fucking shit for, to get your fucking numbers up. Give a fuck who you can to.
Fucking Gayle King. Goofy ass, nasty ass, disrespectful motherfucker asking the great, classy Lisa Leslie about accusations about the late, great Kobe Bryant. What Lisa Leslie should have said to you, what about the accusations that you and Oprah been freaking off for the last 35 years and Stedman is a beard for that? What about those accusations? Let's talk about those accusations, Gayle. Let's talk about those. Why do you even have a job? The only reason why you have a fucking job is because of Oprah Winfrey. But what about the accusations that you guys, you and Oprah, have been freaking off for 35 years? And then I would have followed that up with, why are you wearing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs makeup on your grill? This ain't the motherfucking circus. Why you got motherfucking Snow White makeup on? You look doofy, Gayle.